What's happening, my beautiful people? My name is Mike, and today, my friends, we're going to talk about your controls and also your settings. I make this video every single year because it can change your gameplay, it can change your results. If you appreciate the content, drop a thumbs up. If you have any questions, comments down below, but let's talk about it. Let's begin with your settings. Obviously, you want the trainer off. That's going to be annoying. It's going to get in the way. Now, with auto switching, make sure you have this on either air balls or manual. Either choice, it's up to you. It'll be fine. If it's on air balls, when someone whips in a cross or does a chip through ball, it will auto switch you to the nearest player for that chip through ball or that cross. If it's on manual, you obviously have to make that switch on your own. It's just a preference choice. Auto switching move assistance. And I've had this on low the past few years, and what's the saying? If it's not broke, don't fix it, and it's worked for me. I don't think it's a big deal which setting you choose for this sector, but it's all about comfort. Remember that. I keep the passing, the shooting, the crossing, everything's on default. It's pretty much assisted across the board outside of crossing where you have it on semi. Normally, if you switch these up, it just gets more difficult, so as long as you're willing to make the commitment for that learning curve. For example, if you had through balls on manual, can you learn to use manual through balls in FET Champs or at a tournament? Sure, there are a couple pros that have taken that route. I would not recommend making those adjustments unless you already feel that you're a top tier player and that you can do something special with the manual control you would have for through balls, for example. And it applies to each section. Please don't get out of assisted passing. Don't go to manual passing. A few of these will never be a better option. The final 2 points with your settings is turning off the analog sprint. I don't know anyone who uses the analog sprint. I just think it's easier if it's off. A couple years ago, EA changed the default to this being on. I don't know why. And then when you're defending, it's gonna be tactical. Let's analyze the controls, and what you wanna do is make it feel organic. You don't want it to be all awkward where you have to hit these buttons in a strange sequence in order to execute this skill or to switch players or to make tackles in double teams. Offensively, I'm gonna keep it simple. I play on the classic controls. I've got no complaints. Now, defensively, there's a couple changes I make and I think it's just so much more fluid. So if you're on the default classic, your R1 is gonna be your teammate contain or your double team option. And then your tackle command is either going to be circle or B, just depending on platform. That's very awkward if you're using both of those, where you have to trigger and then push B or push circle. So I'm going to make a change. We're going to make our tackle button A or X, just depending on platform, and then we're going to move that teammate contain to B or circle. Therefore, now when I'm tackling and pressuring, it's A to B or X to circle, and I never use the contain button, so I have gotten away from ever touching R1. It's easier. It's how FIFA was meant to be played. If you are an old school FIFA player, this used to be the default. A few years ago, EA made the adjustment, but that doesn't mean you have to make that change with them. They're not always right. In fact, a lot of the times, they are wrong. Camera settings, and I realize there's a lot of preference involved with the camera settings, so use the comments. What are your camera settings? I recommend playing on telebroadcast because everything is even. You don't have anything out of proportion, the angles are easier to line up to build consistency, and then I go into custom, and I like to have a little more height and a little less zoom. I've been playing normally around 17 for height and 2 or 3 for zoom, and I think that's a good place. But this is where preference is involved, but telebroadcast, without a doubt, is the best default camera view, and then from there you can go in and tailor it towards your gameplay. Do you cross a lot? Are you a possession player? Do you play fast? Do you play slow? Do you use skill moves? Because your camera settings matter. You can set yourself up for success. If you enjoy the content, make sure to drop a thumbs up, share it with your friends, let me know in the comments, what are you doing? What are you changing? We're pumping out videos. I got a lot of FIFA 18 content lined up. I'm excited. This is going to be a good year. I'm really feeling the game from being able to play a lot via early access. Shout out to EA. Remember to let me know what you guys think. Peace!